Today, we are going to be comparing Hanji paper from Korea with rice paper from Japan and calligraphy paper from China and see which one I prefer over the other. I will also let you know of alternates you can use for some of them, as not everything is available everywhere. I have a variety of papers in varying thickness, and we're going to use the same color for our base layer so you can see how they fare in as close a comparison as possible. The first paper we're going to be using is Hanji paper from Korea. Traditionally, Hanji is handmade, but I believe many are now machine made, especially the cheaper alternatives for crafting. I got quite a few types. The first one we are using has fibers showing. One side is textured and you can feel the fibers. The other is less textured. That is the side we will use. Let's pick the paper. A bit of it feels like it is getting stuck, so I peel off from the other end. The color has not come out as vibrant, though that may be because I put a very thin layer of paint. I love the watercolored look. Along with the surprises it has picked up from the paint that was already on the plate. The next paper we are going to be using is the handmade Hanji. It was more expensive than any of the other Hanji papers that I picked up at the craft store. This was 12,000 won versus 1600 won for all the others. The sheets are pretty big. I know the handmade one is around 140 by 70 centimeters, and I believe the rest are similar sizes. The color has come out so vivid. This soaks in the paint really well. This time, I also added more paint so I got good coverage. Other than the one with the fibers showing, I got 3 more types of Hanji paper at the craft shop. Name of the craft shop is Alpha. It is in Seoul. Out of these 3 types, one was a very thin translucent one, another was a thick fibrous one, and the one we're going to be using right now is a basic medium thickness when compared to the other two. It has picked up the paint beautifully. I don't know if it is the paper or the paint, but are you seeing how amazing the edges are? I never used to get such perfect edging earlier. If the trend continues with the rice paper, then we all know it is the paint. But if it stops after the Hanji paper, then we all know it is the paper that is helping. Let's see which it is once we're through with the papers. Now let's try another one, this time a thicker Hanji. It is almost as thick as the handmade one, but this one is from the craft store. It has a very fibrous feel to it and is not very smooth. Let's see how that works out with the gel plate. Ah, this has not absorbed the paint as well as the other ones. Smoother papers work better with the gel plate. So far, I would say this is my least favorite. Though to be honest, sometimes you do want this look, so it might still work depending on what you're going for. For some reason, my putting less paint on the plate coincides with the thinner papers. And once again, I have not put enough. You might have seen me using this paper in the last video where I make a few prints with it. I put up to 6 layers on it and I feel like I could have added a few more easily. It is so thin and translucent, it has a tissue-like feel. I think some alternates for it might be wet strength tissue, teabag paper, or medical exam paper. If I could use only one paper for collage, it would be this one. As expected, the color has not turned out as vibrant because I put less paint on the plate, plus it is also a translucent sheet. We are done with the Hanji papers. Moving on to the Japanese rice papers. It says Snow White on the packaging. I'm assuming it is referring to the color of the paper. The smooth side is very buttery, and that is the side that I used to pick the print. It is pretty much similar to any Japanese rice papers I have used. The next Japanese rice paper is a thicker sheet, very textured on one side, and although it is smooth on the other side, but not as smooth as the first Japanese rice paper that we used. If you're confused about which side to use, experiment with both sides. Smoother sides normally pick up paint better. I use either side even when textured, but this one was way too textured for me to even try. If you look closely, you can see a lined pattern, kind of like a self print on the paper. Finally, our Chinese calligraphy paper, the one you've seen me use before. I've used it in almost all of the videos. So far, this was my favorite to use, but let's see if that has changed today. Wow, can't believe I forgot to show the print, but no worries. I am showing you all these one by one, starting with the first one with visible fibers, followed by the handmade Hanji. then the medium Hanji, followed by the thicker fiber texture one that did not pick the paint as well. Next up, my favorite, the tissue thin Hanji. Then are two Japanese rice papers. They look pretty similar to each other. I couldn't find the exact same ones on Amazon, but I'm linking to a couple of others in the description which were similar. And lastly, our Chinese calligraphy paper. And I guess it is a paint which is good enough to give us the crisp edges. But if you're starting out and still learning, starting out with cheaper craft paint is okay. You can switch to better brands once you get the hang of gel printing and realize that you enjoy it enough to keep at it. Even with paper, you can start out with copy or printer paper. I wish I had shown you that example too. The main difference is 1. It is not archival, it will turn yellow over time, and 2. The colors are not as vibrant as they are on any of these papers. As for my favorite paper from today, you must have guessed it by now. It is without doubt the thin translucent Hanji. Stay tuned for the next upcoming video where I will use these backgrounds and add more layers to make some lovely layered prints. I make so many prints with these backgrounds. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss out. See you in the next video.